All right, let's begin. Cross your legs in the center of your shins, feet beneath your knees, shoulders over your hips. Rest your hands gently on your thighs, upper arms in line with your side ribs, allowing them to dangle. Begin the process of moving from the outer world towards the inner world. Moving the swirling thoughts in your head to the back bottom part of your brain. And giving yourself permission to drop your awareness into the body, into the here and now. Find the even balance of the sits bones. Lengthen through the inner groins. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips as you compact the hips together, maintaining the lengthening, the opening of the inner thighs as you compact and contract the outer thighs. Keeping the front bottom ribs towards the back body, lengthen through the side ribs. And starting at the base of your spine, stack each vertebrae one by one on top of each other. Allow the shoulders to release down, lengthen from the armpits to the inner elbows. And as you continue that lengthening of the armpits to the inner elbows, allow the elbows to descend, bringing your palms together at your chest, touching the palms evenly. Broaden across the front chest, broaden across the back chest. Let the facial features release and relax. As you close your eyelids from top to bottom, rest your eyes into your cheekbones. Find a gazing inward. Let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head and gently allow your eyelids to open. Let me just mute everybody. I think I forgot to do that before. Welcome, Joan. There we go. All right, everybody grab a strap and lie back. Put the strap to the side. You're not going to use it right away. but have the strap within arm's reach. And lie back. Start with your legs bent and your feet on the floor. You scoop the flesh of the top of the buttocks and move that towards your heels to release the lower back. Drag one heel on the floor, straighten your leg, drag the other heel on the floor, straighten your leg, and then place your feet together, heels together and toes together, toes straight up at the ceiling, little toes moving back towards you. Then interlock your thumbs together and extend your arms overhead. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body as you extend the arms and legs. Keep the center heels pressing down and then press the thighs down. You don't want the heels to come up. Keep the thighs pressing down, extend from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner heel. And there's also the extension from the upper inner thighs back towards the lower abdomen. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs and draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compacting the hips together. Keep the work of the legs, maintain that as you extend through the side ribs. Create more length, more distance between your hips and armpits. Keep the front bottom ribs moving towards the back body as you do so. And then iron your shoulder blades into the floor, into the mat, and extend from your armpits, through your elbows, through your wrists, through your fingertips. And as you extend through the inner arms, draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. So just as we draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Working the arms and the legs, extending the whole body, opening the whole body. And release and relax. Let your legs go, let your arms go by your sides. Breathe into your shoulders and breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Then bend your legs, place your feet on the floor. Scoop the flesh of your buttocks towards your heels. Straightening the opposite leg first. Straighten your legs one at a time. Feet together, heels together, toes point straight up at the ceiling, little toe moves back towards you. Then interlock your thumbs the opposite way, extend them overhead. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body, towards the floor as you do so. Press the thighs down. Again, keep the heels pressing, so you don't want the heels to lift up as you do this. Press the heels down first, and then press the thighs down. Don't jam the knees down. You can use the awareness of the back of the knees, of the eye of the knees. If you were here last week, we were talking a little bit about that, right? Opening the eye of the knee. You can do that, but that, again, as we spoke, is different than just pushing the knee down. Push the heels down, press the heels down, and then push the thighs down. And lengthen through the inner leg, from the inner thigh, through the inner knee, through the inner heel. Again, from the upper inner thighs, there's a drawing back towards the abdomen, but there's that lengthening out through the inner leg, through the inner heel at the same time. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs and draw from your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact the hips together. And then you have to maintain that. We're not moving our awareness. We're expanding our awareness. So expanding the awareness from the legs towards the torso. Keeping the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Take your front bottom ribs towards the floor. The abdomen draws up, down towards the spine, up underneath the bottom ribs, and lengthen through the side ribs. From your hips to your armpits become longer. And then ironing your shoulder blades into the mat. Open the armpits, extend armpit to elbow. Straight arms, elbows to wrists, right through the fingertips. And then again, as you extend through the inner arms, drawing from your outer elbows to your outer shoulders. Are your legs still working? creating more space on the inside through which your breath can flow. And release and relax. Let your legs go. Take your arms up by your sides. Let your arms go. Palms up. Let go completely. Breathe into your shoulders and breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders. Breathe into your hips. Bend your legs. Take your feet on the floor. Now take hold of your strap. Bend your right leg into your chest. Put the strap around your foot where the heel meets the arch and straighten your right leg. No death grips on the strap. Press the thigh bone back. Soften the shoulders. Soften the neck, shoulders. Soften your face. Press the thigh bone back. Again, not just the knee, but the thigh bone. And there's the lengthening of the inner leg from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle. There's a pushing through the ball of the big toe. The ball of the big toe is the peak of the pose. The flesh of the inner thighs moves from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. So all the same actions of the leg. And bend your leg, switch legs. So the strap is around your foot where the heel meets the arch. Straighten your left leg. Soft hands, soft shoulders. Keep the lower back on the floor. Press the thigh back, the thigh bone. Lengthen through the inner leg, from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, pushing through the ball of the big toe. The ball of the big toe is the peak of the pose. There's also a drawing back from the upper inner thighs towards the abdomen, but really lengthening out through the inner leg, through the ball of the big toe. The flesh of the inner thigh moves from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. So there's still that releasing of the groin as you draw from the outer knee to the outer hip. Bend your leg and switch legs. Soft hands. So right leg is up, strap is where the heel meets the arch. Soft hands, soft shoulders, soft face. Press the thigh back. Also, take the outer hip. So the outer right hip moves away from your shoulder so that the two sides of your torso are equal in length. Lengthen through the inner leg. Push through the ball of the big toe. The flesh of the inner thigh moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. Now, when you go to straighten your left leg, your right hip is going to want to move towards your shoulder, and your right foot will want to move away from your face. See if you can keep your foot where it is and keep your right hip moving away from your shoulder as you now drag your left heel on the floor, straightening your left leg. And if you need to readjust, then readjust. Take the right outer hip away from your shoulder. See two straight legs. Whether you get there or not. Both thighs pressing back. Extending both inner legs. The flesh of the inner thighs moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Soft face, soft hands, soft shoulders. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Bend both legs and switch legs. Take your left leg up in the strap. Start with the right leg bent. Right leg is bent. Take the left thigh back. Lengthen through the inner left leg, from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, push through the ball of the big toe. The flesh of the inner thigh moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Soften your hands, soften your shoulders. Draw from your outer knee to outer hip. Again, that left hip moving away from your left shoulder. Left hip moves away from your left shoulder. Now, when you go to straighten your leg, remember your left hip will want to move away, will want to move closer to the shoulder. The left foot will want to move away from your face. So keep your left hip, left foot where they are as you drag your right heel straight in your right leg. So don't focus on it straightening the leg. Focus what's happening on your left leg as you straighten your right leg. Right? When we take an action, usually we're often focusing on what we're doing. We're straightening the right leg. And what we also want to begin to do is focus on what happens to other parts of the body when we do that. So what happens to the left leg when you straighten the right leg. So both thighs pressing back now, two straight legs, lengthening through the inner thighs, drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips, the flesh of the inner thighs moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. That left outer hip still moving away from your left shoulder. And of course, taking a moment to observe your pose. Soft hands, soft shoulders, soft face. Then both legs, place your feet on the floor. Just let go of the strap for a second. I have a feeling people are holding on too tight. We're doing it. We're going to do it again, but just squeeze your hands a couple times back. Make a little fist. You don't have to squeeze for dear life, but just close and stretch your hands a little bit. In case you were one of the ones holding on too tight. All right, one more time. Take hold of the strap. Bend your legs. Place your feet on the floor. Take your right leg in the strap towards the ceiling. Strap goes where the heel meets the arch. Straighten your right leg. Left leg is bent. Left leg is bent. Foot on the floor. Left foot on the floor. Left leg bent. Right leg straight. Okay, we're going to go through it a little faster this time. And then we'll move to Supta Padangusthasana 2, where we take the leg out to the side. This is Supta Padangusthasana 1. Press the thigh bone back. Take the outer hip with it. Lengthen through the inner leg. Keep that right buttock down. Don't let the right buttock come up. Lengthen the inner leg, through the ball of the big toe. The flesh of the inner thigh moving back. Again, there's that drawing back from the upper inner thighs towards the abdomen. Draw from your outer knee to outer hip. Now keep the hip foot where it is. Drag your left heel on the floor. Straighten your left leg. Two straight legs. Both thighs pressing back. Lengthening the inner legs. Also, that from the upper inner thighs, there's a drawing back towards the abdomen, even as we lengthen out through the balls of the big toes. The flesh of the inner thighs, moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Supta Padangusthasana 1. Now reach high in the strap with your right hand, both sides of the strap now. Take both sides of the strap in your right hand. Reach up high. Take your left hand either on your thigh to help push the thigh down. If it's more comfortable to have your hand out to the side, you can do that. And take your foot towards your face, and then take your leg out to the side. You want to get to about a 45-degree angle. Of course, it depends on your body and your flexibility and what's happening in it today. But ultimately, the foot comes to about the height of your shoulder. Keep that right thigh pressing back. The right outer hip moves away from your shoulder. Lengthen through both inner legs. The left thigh is still turned in. Extend through both inner legs. The upper inner thighs still drawing back towards the abdomen, even as you extend out through the balls of the big toes, and draw from your outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips together. Finding your smooth breath. And with the straight leg, pull your leg up, take your leg back up to center, come back to Supta Padangusthasana 1, hold both sides of the strap, soften your shoulders. And then we'll move to Supta Padangusthasana 3. So take hold of the strap now with your left hand. Take your right hand onto your thigh where your thigh meets your hip, and push the thigh bone back. Don't have your hand near your knee, but push the thigh back, push the hip back, and then take your right leg over to the left. You don't need to go far before you feel the resistance and you feel it opening up. Just go towards the edge of sensation. Don't go deep into the sensation. You'll just want to come out of the pose more quickly. Keep that right thigh, hip moving back as the right leg moves to the left, crosses the midline towards the left. There's still the lengthening of the inner legs, descending of the inner thighs, drawing the outer knees to the outer hips. And take your leg back up to center. Hold both sides of the strap. Soften your shoulders. Back to Supta Padangusthasana 1. For some, the struggle that you were having in Supta Padangusthasana 1, in this version, you're like, oh, thank God, we're back here after doing the others. So enjoy this. And then bend your legs and switch legs. So left leg up. Press the thigh back. Take the outer hip with it. Lengthen through the inner thigh, flesh of the inner thigh. Move from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Draw from your outer knee to outer hip. Keep the left buttock down. Left lower back down. Now maintain the hip, foot where it is. Drag your right heel on the floor. Straighten your right leg. Right thigh turns in. Both thighs pressing back. Extending both inner legs, the flesh of the inner thighs. Moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Drawing from your outer knees to outer hips. Keep that left outer hip moving away from your shoulder. Supta Padangusthasana 2. Reach up high in the strap with your left hand now. Right hand either on your thigh to help keep it down. If you're more comfortable with your arm out to the side, you can take it out to the side. George, it's easier to hold if you turn your thumb up. If you just move your hand, turn it the other way. There you go. But no death grips. Take your foot towards your face and then take your whole leg out to the side. Keep that right thigh pressing down as you do that. Right thigh presses down. Keep the left hip moving away from your shoulder as the left thigh presses back. So both thighs still press back. That left outer hip still moving away from your shoulder. The actions are quite similar, even though they are now in different directions. Lengthening through the inner leg, drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips. The flesh of the inner thighs do still descend. So again, the same actions, even though it's a different experience with the leg out to the side. With the straight leg, take your leg back up, hold both sides of the strap, back to Supta Padangusthasana 1. And then move into Supta Padangusthasana 3. Hold the strap now with your right hand. Take your left hand onto the thigh, move the thigh bone back. Move the thigh bone back and take your left leg over to the right. And again, you don't need to go far. Notice how the hip again wants to move towards your shoulder and the foot wants to move away from your face. Keep the hip moving away from your shoulder as you keep the foot not moving closer to your face, but where it was, not moving away from your face. Don't go into the pain, just go to the edge of sensation. And then come back up to center. Hold both sides of the strap, soft hands, soft shoulders, Supta Padangusthasana 1. Lengthening through the inner legs. The flesh of the inner thighs, moving from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg, draw from your outer knees to outer hips. That left outer hip moving away from your shoulder. Soften your shoulders, soften your face. Now take both legs up in the strap. Take your right leg next to your left leg, both legs straight towards the ceiling, heels over your hips. Lengthen through the inner legs, draw from your outer knees to outer hips. Soften your shoulders and hands. Take your abdomen down, eyeing your abdomen towards your spine. Soft hands, soft shoulders, abdomen down, lower back down. Abdomen down, lower back down. And bend your legs, place your feet on the floor. Put the strap to the side. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor. At this time, interlace your thumbs together first, extend your arms overhead. Draw your lower back towards the floor, even though it won't stay on the floor. Drag one heel at a time, straighten your legs one at a time. Press your thighs down, lengthen through the inner legs, lengthen through the inner arms. As you lengthen through the inner legs, remember there's still that drawing from the top of the thighs towards the abdomen, even as you lengthen out through the inner leg, the inner heel, even through the balls of the big toes. Let the flesh of the inner thighs descend. And then as you draw from your outer elbows to your shoulders, draw from your outer knees to outer hips. And lengthening through the side ribs. Front bottom ribs move towards the back body. Allow your abdomen to drop towards the spine and underneath those front bottom ribs. Creating more space through which your breath can flow. And release and relax. Let your legs go. Let your arms go. Breathe into your shoulders. Breathe into your hips. And one last time, bend your legs. Interlock your thumbs together the opposite way. Extend your arms overhead. Keep your front bottom ribs towards the back body as you extend the arms overhead. Keep the lower back moving towards the floor, even though it will come up away from the floor, but allow the lower back to descend. Straighten the other leg first. Drag one heel on the floor, straighten the leg. Drag the other heel on the floor, straighten the leg. Keeping the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Extend through the inner arms, extend through the inner legs. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. So it's like these 4 circles of energy. The extension of the inner legs. Energy comes around as you draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Extending through the inner arms. The energy comes around as you draw from the outer elbows to the shoulders. So can you picture these 4 circles of energy flowing? Creating more space on the inside through which your breath can flow. It's not just the outer lengthening, it's the space on the inside. And release and relax. Let your arms go, let your legs go. Breathe into your shoulders, breathe into your hips. Then your legs roll to the right, come up onto your hands and knees. Rotate the forearms in, press down through the ball of the first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms out at the same time. Turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Now keep that action of the arms. So the forearms are rotating in, upper arms rotate out. Push into the floor to lengthen through those inner arms. Keep the awareness of the legs now that you've been working. The thighs back, lengthen through the inner legs, draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Inhale on your exhalation, come into downward facing dog. Thighs back, chest towards your thighs. But all those actions we've been doing, you want to keep. George, feet further apart. Press the thigh bones back. The lengthening of the inner leg is slightly different. There's a lifting from the inner knees through the inner groins. But there's also that lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips. The outer heels are seeking the floor as the outer hips come up. Press through the inner hand as you lengthen them through the inner arms, through the armpits, through the side ribs. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, and press your thighs back even more. Look up, walk your feet forward, hold your elbows, come into forward bend, Uttanasana. Hold your upper arms, hold your elbows, upper arms in line with your ears. Now again here, there's a tendency to press the knee back. So be careful for not just jamming the knee back, but taking your awareness higher in your legs and pressing your thigh bones back. And if Uttanasana, this is too intense for you, then you take Ardha Uttanasana with either your hands on a chair or hands at the wall. Lengthen through the inner legs. So lifting from your inner knees through your inner groins. The flesh of the inner thighs pressing back. Lifting from your outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips together. Your abdomen is neutral here. As you press your center heels down, lift your outer hips towards the ceiling. Let your torso fall over your thighs. Let your arms go. Take your fingertips on the floor. Then place your hands flat on the floor. If you need to bend your knees, then you bend your knees. And then walk your feet back, downward facing dog. The more downward action you have, the more lifting action you have. Press into the hands, press through the balls of the first finger and thumbs, and then lift from your wrists all the way up through the inner arms, armpits, side ribs. Press the thighs back. Lengthen through the inner leg, lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. And then as you extend the outer heels down, although there's a backward action too, so take your heels towards the wall behind you, but as you do so, take those outer heels down so that you can lift the outer hips up. The more downward action you get, the more upward action you get. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back even more. Look up, walk your feet forward. Hold your elbows the opposite way you did the first time. Uttanasana, forward bend. Balance evenly on your 2 feet. Lift from your outer knees to your outer hips. Lengthen from your inner knees through your inner groins. Take the flesh of the inner thighs back. And as you lift up through those legs, allow the hips to come towards the ceiling. Allow the sits bones to come towards the ceiling. And the more lift you get, the more your torso falls over your thighs. On each exhalation, take your chest towards your big toes. Please let your skull release. Let your arms go. Sweep your arms back. Keep the thighs pressing back. Extend the arms back. So from your shoulders, push through your hands. Extend your chest forward as you do so. Hands a little lower, George. Not so high. Hands a little lower. That's it. And extend the chest forward. And then slowly inhale, come up. Keep those actions as you come up. And then turn to face the front. Take your feet hip distance apart. Hip distance, feet hip distance apart. Tadasana, balance evenly on the feet. So the thigh bones press back. Lengthen through the inner thighs. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Extend your arms forward. Draw your shoulder bones into the shoulder sockets. Keep those front bottom ribs moving back. Keep the thighs pressing back. Inhale, come up. Turn the triceps towards the nose. Press through the feet. Lengthen through the arms. Keep the front bottom ribs moving back as you lengthen. Turn the hands to the sides. Exhale, come down. Take your hands on your hips. We're going to move into Utkatasana, chair pose. It really means fierce pose. The weight is going to go onto your heels. And while the chest does come forward slightly, it doesn't bend all the way forward. So there's still a lifting of the chest, but don't confuse that with the chest staying completely upright. So allow the weight to move onto the heels. Begin to bend the legs as if you're sitting on a chair. Don't let your knees move apart. So keep your knees going completely straight. Now draw your abdomen in and up. Draw your abdomen in and up. And push through your heels to come up. Don't do a pelvic tilt, right? So it's not that you're throwing the hips forward, okay? It's as if you just want to take your whole sacrum straight down. So there's no real adjustment here. I am not doing a pelvic tilt here. I'm not trying to take the tailbone in and under, nothing like that. I am just going straight down. See, my torso is coming forward. I'm not collapsing here, but I'm also not trying to keep it upright. I would have to do too much of an adjustment with my hips in order to keep it upright, and that would not be healthy for the lower back. And to come up, you just press and come up, all right? But you have to have your abdomen engaged to do this. If you don't want to take it in your lower back, you have to have your abdomen engaged. So start here, draw your abdomen towards your spine, and then lift your abdomen up towards your chest. And maintaining the abdomen quite activated, bend your legs. The weight moves onto the heels. Don't throw those hips forward. Watch throwing the hips forward, George. Allow your torso to come forward. That's it. Then sit into it. There you go. That's it. Abdomen in and up, in and up, in and up, in and up. And press into the heels. Come on up. Now, sometimes at some point, we have to bring the arms into it. So we'll add the arms at the end. Abdomen in and up. Keep the abdomen engaged. Bend your legs. The weight does go onto the heels. Have a seat. Allow the torso to come forward, but the hip isn't moving. You're just taking that sacrum straight down, right? The chest does lift up. You bring the shoulder blades in to lift the chest, but it doesn't mean that your torso is staying upright. Keep your abdomen in and up. Abdomen in and up. And then take your arms forward and arms up. The arms help lift the chest up. Urdhva Hastasana with your arms. Triceps move towards your nose, extend through the arms, have another seat. And then push with your heels, reach with your arms. Come on up. Take your hands out to the sides. Come down. And then just for fun, maybe not, let's take the arms up first, the traditional way. So Urdhva Hastasana, arms forward, arms up. Now draw your abdomen in and up. The front bottom ribs move towards the back body. Draw your abdomen in and up, more strongly than you would in a regular Urdhva Hastasana. To prepare yourself, keep the abdomen moving in and up. Bend the legs. Keep the abdomen in and up as you do so. Better, George. No, you had it forward. Allow the torso to come slightly forward so that you can really sit into it. That's it. That's it. Abdomen in and up. Abdomen in and up. And then pressing through the heels. Come on up. Turn your hands out to the sides. Come on down. Give yourself an inner round of applause. Interlace your fingers together. Turn your palms out. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Inhale, come up. Push through the feet. Extend through the wrists. Everything in between extending. Take your arms in front of you. Turn your palms to face you. Switch the interlock. Put the other first finger on top. Turn the palms out. Push the webbing together. Inhale up. Keep those ribs in. Keep those ribs in. Release your hands out to the sides. Take your hands on your hips. Abdomen in and up. Abdomen in and up. Utkatasana. Bend your legs. Bend your legs. So you're taking that sacrum straight down. You're not tucking. You're not lifting the buttocks up, but you're definitely not doing a pelvic tilt. Sit into it. Abdomen in and up, in and up, in and up. Arms forward, arms up. Sit into it. Abdomen in and up. Bring your shoulder blades in to lift your chest as you sit into it. Teeny bit more. I hate this pose too. Push into your heels, reach through your arms, come up. Turn your hands out to the side, come on down. Take your feet together. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior pose 1. Fingertips up by your chest, bend your legs, jumper, step your feet apart. Take your hands on your hips. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Now we have to turn towards the side of the room. So pick up your back heel, take that left hip forward and place that back heel down so that the hips are squared. So take that left hip forward, George. George, turn that back foot in more. Back foot then turns in more. So it's not the normal, we call that a 30-degree angle. It's here. It's not straight forward, but it's a 60-degree angle, turning in. So that you can take the left hip forward. Then the back thigh turns in, and the left hip is allowed to come forward. Now, yes, lengthen the groins. Yes, lift from your outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips together. Draw your abdomen in and up, and then bend your front leg into that 90-degree angle. Keep that left hip going forward. Draw your abdomen in and up. Draw your abdomen in and up. And use that action to help lift the chest, and shoulder blades in to lift the chest, then arms forward, arms up. You can look forward, that's fine. And if you have to lift in the side ribs, your head just might want to go up. And if it does, that's fine too. Draw your abdomen in and up. Then reaching through the arms, straighten your front leg. Parallel your feet, arms out to the sides. Hands on your hips. Take a breath. Turn your right foot in, turn your left leg out. Pick up your back heel, take that right hip forward, so you're that 60-degree angle, roughly. Keep that right hip moving forward. So the right thigh turns in. Lengthen through the inner groins. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Draw your abdomen in and up. Keep the abdomen lifting. Allow that action to help lift the chest. Keep those actions. Inhale. On your exhalation, bend the front leg. Take that 90-degree angle. Sometimes I have to adjust my distance. I know that I haven't taken a wide enough stance if I can't get that knee over the ankle. Take that right hip forward. So the back thigh turns in. Take that right hip forward. Draw the abdomen in and up. Draw the abdomen in and up. Allow that action to help lift the chest. Yes, bring the shoulder blades in also to lift the chest. And then take your arms forward, arms up. And again, fine to look forward. Maybe your head begins to look up. And then reach through the arms, straighten the front leg, parallel the feet, arms out to the sides. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. So when you come into the pose, you want to be careful for the torso coming forward. The leg bends, but the torso just floats in space. Right? My torso, even as I go up and down, my torso is not moving at all. Right? There's a part of the head that thinks I want to get there, right? So I have to get closer there. But the goal is not to get there, the goal is to get here. So stay here, simply allowing the leg to bend. The abdomen draws in and up. All right? So keep your shoulders over your hips the whole time. One more time from Tadasana, fingertips up, then your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Take your hands on your hips. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out, pick up the back heel, square those hips, take the back heel back down. Turn the back thigh in. The back thigh does press back. Be careful with that back knee. The back knee doesn't press back. It is a straight leg. So now here, take your hips, your shoulders over your hips. Yes, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen the inner groins, but keep those shoulders stacked over your hips the whole time. Draw your abdomen in and up. And while the action is in the front leg, can you keep your awareness on the back leg and on the torso staying stacked over your hip? So inhale, draw your abdomen in and up. Keep that. Bend the front leg, but keep pressing the back heel, back leg, and keep your shoulders over your hips. Don't allow your torso to fall forward. That's it. Now keep your abdomen in and up. Take the left hip forward. Take the shoulder blades in and extend your arms forward, arms up. Don't let your torso follow your arms as they go forward. Once they go up, yes, then use the side ribs to help push the arms up. Shoulder blades down, arms up. Soften your face. Abdomen in and up. And observe your pose. Enjoy yourself here. Front bottom ribs moving into the body. Front bottom ribs back. And then pushing into the front leg, straighten your leg, pushing into front foot, I should say, straighten your legs, reach up, parallel your feet, arms out to the sides, hands on hips, take a breath. Right foot and left leg out. Pick up your back heel, square those hips, take the back heel down. The back thigh turns in, the back thigh presses back, so you can press the back heel. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips as you lengthen the inner groins. Stack your shoulders over your hips, so be aware of the placement of your torso, of your shoulders over your hips now. Draw your abdomen in and up. And while we bend the front leg, I want you to keep the awareness on the back leg, pressing the back heel, as well as the torso, keeping the shoulders over the hips. Inhale, draw your abdomen in and up. Exhale, the front leg bends, but you're keeping your shoulders over your hips. You're pressing the back heel. Shoulders over your hips. Press the back heel. Sit into it. Keep the shoulders over the hips, Sean. The other side. There you go. That's it. The right hip goes forward. Right hip goes forward. Draw your abdomen in and up. Lift the chest. Bring your shoulder blades in. Lift the chest. Keep the abdomen in and up. Now keep the shoulders over the hips as you extend the arms forward and bring the arms up. Don't let the torso move. Just the arms are moving. That's it. Nice, Sean. The right hip still moves forward. Press the right thigh back to press the back heel. Draw your abdomen in and up and lengthen through the arms. Soft eyes. Imagine this is your favorite pose in the world. And pressing through the front foot. Reach through the arms. Come up. Parallel your feet. Arms out to the sides. And jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Processing. All right, let's do it. Everybody lie down on your mat. Extend your arms forward. Rest your forehead on the floor. Turn your thighs in so that the tops of your knees are down. Lift your right hand and left leg and extend them away from you. It's not about how high up they go, it's about lengthening them. And then keep that length and take them down. And then the left leg, right foot, lengthen. They do come up about an inch or two, and then lengthen them. It's not about how high up they go, it's about how lengthened you can get. And then take them down. And then take both arms and legs up at the same time. The sacrum moves down, but lengthen. And it's like you're making an X from the right hand to the left leg, left hand to the right leg or right foot. And lengthen. Keep that length and then take them down. Now take your hands by your hips. Going to prepare for Shalabhasana. Turn your thighs in again. Take your tailbone down and press your tailbone, and it's really your pubic bone that presses, and not so much your tailbone, I should really say sacrum. Press your sacrum down towards the floor, and then lift your legs up. Take your sacrum down towards the floor, lift your legs up, and lengthen through the legs. Lengthen through the legs. Lengthen through especially those inner legs. Keep the sacrum pressing down. The top of the buttocks moves away from your shoulders. And release. Let the legs down. So now we're going to do the arm part. So still, the sacrum moves down. Okay, as if the sacrum is trying to press the floor. Obviously, it's the pubic bone that presses the floor. And then lift your hands above your hips. And then push your hands back. As you push your hands back, it's like you're peeling yourself up. Your shoulders come up, your chest comes up, and then your head begins to lift up. Draw your abdomen. We've been working the abdomen, right? Hands a little higher, George, if you can. Draw your abdomen in and up and use your arms to pull your torso back. Use your shoulders also to push your arms back. And then exhale, come down. Rest your head, rest your arms. Now we get to put it all together. So first we'll do it one at a time. We'll do the legs first, then we'll add the arms. So take your sacrum down, lift your legs, turn the thighs in. Actually, take your legs back down. Turn the thighs in first. Turn the thighs in first. Take your sacrum down. And it's not that you're lifting your feet, but the action comes from the inner thighs. So use your inner thighs to lift your legs up, extend through the inner legs. And then take your hands slightly above your hips and use those arms, push your arms back to peel your torso up. And extend through your legs and extend through your arms and try to get your hands to reach past your feet. Bring your shoulder blades in. Draw your abdomen in and up, abdomen in and up, abdomen in and up. Soft face. Exhale, come down. Now we're going to do it one last time. And this time we will lift the arms and legs at the same time. Turn the thighs in. Take the sacrum down. It's a strong action. Take the sacrum down. Engage the abdomen. So draw the abdomen in and up now. Lift your legs, lift your hands, push your hands back. Lift your legs, lift your hands, push your hands back. Lift your legs, lift your hands, push your hands back. Lengthen through the inner legs. Move your arms past your feet. Move your arms past your feet. Shoulder blades in will help. Abdomen in and up will help. Shalabhasana, locust pose. You are flying like a locust. Nice. Exhale, come down, rest. Bend your legs, take your feet towards the ceiling. Now stay in your stomachs, so bend your legs, feet towards the ceiling. And then reach and take hold of your ankles. I know, crazy talk. If you can't reach your ankles, then you take your strap and you put that around your ankles. That's fine. And then you reach as close to your ankles as you can. You got it, George? That's it. Great. Turn the thighs in. Sacrum down, sacrum down, sacrum down. Now, lift your legs up, lift your arms up. Lift your legs up, lift your arms up. Lift your legs up, lift your arms up. Bring your shoulder blades in, draw your abdomen in and up, in and up, in and up. And release your legs, come down. So let me show this once. I'm going to do it again. Sometimes you get a better grasp on the ankles if you extend your arms forward first, actually. So you bend your legs, we'll extend the arms forward, and then you make a nice big arch, and you take hold of your ankles. Now, sometimes we have to reach for one ankle first. If you have to do that, that's fine. Just alternate. The first time you're reaching for this one, then the next time, reach for the other one. And know eventually you want them both at the same time. So you lift your thighs up, you lift your arms up. Now there's a tendency here, sacrum is down. There's a tendency here to have the legs and arms resist each other, where you're pulling with the hands and pushing with the legs. And I don't want you to do that. I want your arms to help your legs. So your legs push your arms back. See that? This is my legs working. That's all legs. My arms aren't doing anything. Now this is my arms. My legs didn't do anything extra. So legs, arms, legs, arms, legs, arms. And now they're working together. I'm using my arms to actually push my feet back as well as up. All right? Let's try it again. So bend your legs. If you want, you can extend your arms forward. Bend your legs, make a nice big arch, and take hold of the ankles. If you have to get one first, that's fine. Turn the thighs in, sacrum down, sacrum down. Now lift the legs up, lift the arms up. Now use the legs to pull you back. And then use the arms to push you back. And then again, use the legs to pull you back and use the arms to push you back. And then use them both at the same time. Legs back, arms back, and the arms are actually back and up. The arms are back and up. Bring the shoulder blades in, draw the abdomen in and up. Looks really nice, Sean. And release, come down. And just for fun, let's do it one last time. Last back bend. Bend your legs. If you like, you can extend your arms forward. Inhale, take a nice big arch with your arms. As you exhale, take hold of the ankles, take hold of the opposite one first, if you're taking one at a time. Take the sacrum down. Turn the thighs in, take the sacrum down. It has to start there. Draw your abdomen in and up here. Start here, abdomen in and up. Now lift the legs, lift the arms. Use the legs to pull your arms back. Use your arms to push your legs back. Use your legs to pull your arms back. Use your arms to push your legs back. Arms go back and up. Your arms are pushing your feet back and up. Your legs are pulling your legs back and up. Take the sacrum down, abdomen in and up, and enjoy your pose. And release. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Turn your toes under. Downward facing dog pose. Press your thighs back. Press your thighs back. Lengthen through the inner legs. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take your heels back and down. As the heels go down, lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. Of course, the inner leg lengthening as well. Press the hands down. And then from your wrist, lift up. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone. Press your thighs back even more. Coming up, bend your legs, place your knees on the floor at precisely the same moment. Take your feet together, knees apart, extend your arms forward, rest your skull either on the floor or on a block or a lift. And let the skull release. Allow yourself to recover. George, knees apart, take your sit bones as close to your heels as you can. Take your knees to the edge of the mat. Yes, George. Feet stay together, but the knees come apart. And then see if you can get your sit bones closer to your heels. I've seen you do it. I know you can go a little further back. That's it. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up, my back. Take your feet on the floor, my back, square your hips and square your shoulders, and take your arms out to the sides. Bend your legs into your chest. Inhale, exhale, take your knees to the right. Turn your abdomen to the left as the knees go to the right. And last week we were working with, if you move your knees higher or lower, it touches a different part of your back. So you can do that even here. You can take your knees a little higher up, take your knees a little further away, and find the place that goes, oh yeah, this is where I want to be. And make this your pose. Thighs together. Then inhale, come up, take your feet on the floor, square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Inhale. Exhale, take your knees towards your left elbow. Abdomen turns to the right as the knees go to the left. And again, play with it a little bit. Take your knees higher up. Take your knees up further away. And find that place that you go, oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm practicing today. It can be different tomorrow. And inhale, take your legs up. Place your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. And bend your legs back into your chest. Hold around your shins or behind your knees. Give yourself a hug. A perfect opportunity to say something kind to yourself. Did a lot of work today. Honor yourself, honor your body for being able to do this work. On your inhalation, allow your feet to come to the floor. Scoop the flesh of your buttocks towards your heels. Straighten your legs one at a time. Let your legs go. Let your arms go. Rest your eyes into your cheekbones. Find a complete surrender in here. We did a lot of work with the abdomen. Let the abdomen completely release now. Let the legs completely surrender as they flow away from your torso. Let the sits bones follow the legs as the sit bones flow away from your torso. Let the arms completely release as they flow away from your torso. Let the skull release, all the facial features, releasing, letting go. Draw the ears inward and begin to listen to your breath from the inside of your body. You don't need to breathe, the breath will breathe you. Can you turn yourself over to the breath? Can you surrender to the breath? Let go everything, hold nothing. Let go. Surrender. Shavasana. To begin coming out of your Shavasana, take a soft, smooth, peaceful inhalation and a longer, smooth, peaceful exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. Slowly and with awareness, place your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Let the healing energy of your hands penetrate your body, pierce through your layers, and heal. Whatever it is you may need healing with today. Pick a side, right or left. Extend your arm past your ear, roll to that side. Rest your ear into your upper arm. And when you feel ready, place your top hand on the floor in front of your heart. Turn your torso towards the floor first, then push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting. Bring your palms together. Draw your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up. Observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? And let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you.